680 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Jameis Winston against the Green Bay Packers this upcoming Sunday. Starting quarterback Jackson Dart is in the concussion protocol after he took a hard hit on a fumble in the third quarter of the Giants' 24-20 loss to Chicago, and he is unlikely to play this week. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will miss Week 11 against the 49ers after undergoing surgery for appendicitis. Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Jair Alexander has decided to walk away from football to focus on getting right physically and mentally. Alexander informed the Eagles of his decision Tuesday after their victory over Green Bay, in which Alexander did not travel with the team. The Blazers will face off with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at 5 p.m.
Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, we're back live on the YouTube, so thanks for your patience on that. Shout out to all the people involved helping make that happen. So we're back there. But without further ado, it's 10:30 on a Wednesday. That means we are joined by our good buddy Tyson Alger of the I-5 Corridor Lookout Eugene Springfield. Tyson, good morning. How was your weekend?
I had a pretty great time in Iowa, guys. I mean, it was the first time coming from the West Coast that I've ever experienced cold weather or rain or actually that's what it kind of seemed like all the Iowa fans were saying when it dropped around 40 degrees and the rain started pouring and they're like, "Oh, this is Iowa weather." I was like, "Guys, this is kind of what we do out in Portland too. Like when did we become so temperate, boys?"
Well, I had a conversation with Dusty Hara about that, and I was kind of like, what was the the experience like from a weather standpoint? Now he's down on the sideline. I don't know if you're cushy in a box or something, but he's down on the sideline. He said Wisconsin was way worse than Iowa City.
Yeah, we were pretty cushy for this one. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's one of the first times I've come into a press box and seen like the closed windows for the box and been like, "Oh, thank you." And then they had like the meal was served like throughout the entire game. It was lovely. I almost put my feet up, but then you got to remember that you do run into the people like Dusty who had to weather the storm, and you have to pretend like we went through it too. Poor guy, but. Yeah, no, it was no wetter than the Wisconsin game. It might have been a little bit colder, but it wasn't that bad.
So let's dive into this game, and we'll start with kind of the hoopla before kick even happened. All of a sudden, I am not a Twitter guy, but even I was aware of the Kenyon Sadiq right tackle and Decorian Moore injuries before the game. What was it like for the team, any kind of fans you might have run in, your perspective? Did it feel like they kind of knew this was going to happen and they were prepared, or was this kind of a shock to them as well that they weren't ready to go?
Yeah, it was a weird day on Friday. I'm not going to lie, because that was my travel day, and I also booked my stuff late, so I had a long travel day. And it wasn't until I was rolling back to my hotel and finally got my phone fired back up that I had about 8 missed net messages and saw all the tweets of it seemed like half the roster was going to be out. And you get to the game on Saturday and the Ducks kind of ran a little bit of a pump fake they still had Sadiq and Harkey and Devin Jackson in uniform. They did announce before the game that Decorian Moore was out. I think that was the one that obviously drew kind of the biggest amount of interest and that's the one that kind of quasi turned out to be true because it seemed like some of the initial rumors on Friday were, he's going to be lost for the season. On Saturday, Lanning said he thinks he's going to be okay. I don't know what that means timetable for this week or going into USC or Washington. But it was just it did kind of seem like it was setting up in Iowa's favor in that regard, just because you're down to going into the game 5 scholarship wide receivers, and then Gary Bryant Jr. gets injured in the second quarter, and then you're down to 4, and you're kind of looking around the field, and it's like, okay, usually in this scenario you would expect a Kenyon Sadiq to make a big play. Well, Kenyon's out too, and so considering all that, like I was really impressed with kind of just the composure and the way that the Ducks were able to kind of address this game. We've talked about how Dante in games where things aren't ideal has kind of struggled at times, and obviously he wasn't perfect in this game, but it was certainly enough in that final drive to put together one of the best throws I think I've ever seen the Oregon quarterback make on that Malik Benson completion.
Tyson, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show. I walked into a glass door at full speed and damn near concussed myself before we started the show. And that's what this game felt like. There was a lot of just running into things the entire game. But going into this, we kind of wanted to see what the identity of Oregon was. If Iowa could pull them into deep water, how would Oregon respond? And do you feel like that the identity of this Oregon team is run ball, defense, traditional Big Ten style, like they have made the full pivot into that, and that should be their identity? Or do you think that there's something different about this team still?
What I like about this team is it can kind of morph into what it needs to be. I mean, this was a game where it wasn't ideal to be passing the football, and they had that against Wisconsin, and it looks like they might have that coming up on Friday too against Minnesota. And this is developed into one of the better rushing attacks in the country. I mean, that was the whole thing that Iowa prided itself on, right? Is we win the trenches, we're going to pound the football, we're going to make you not enjoy playing us for 4 quarters, and that's kind of what the Ducks did to them. The 261 yards, I believe, are the most they've allowed since 2022. It's the most yards per carry they've allowed since 2014. The Ducks were dominant in that phase of the game, and I think it was at the start of it, they were kind of trying things out to see like what they could get away with. I think they passed twice on that first drive, and you saw Noah Whittington drop a pass. And I think right around then the Ducks go like, okay, well, let's see what we can do on the ground. And the ground was incredibly effective. And so I think more so than the passing game, that's what the Ducks can really hang their hats on. I mean, this has been 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row where the running game's been really dominant. But again, I go back to that fourth quarter drive. They still have a pretty darn good quarterback. And yeah, I know they're pretty depleted in receivers right now, but I do like that this offense still can go and rely on the passing game to make a play or two in a game where it's pretty apparent that the running game has been what's more effective.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor, Lookout, Eugene, Springfield. I want to switch over to the defense, and I got to be careful how I ask this question because I've been very impressed with Oregon's defense. I think it's been, especially that D-line, has been kind of the most stable part of this team throughout this season. So I got to make sure this doesn't come across as a negative, but against Penn State, against Indiana, and against Iowa, they're giving up more points in the fourth quarter than they had the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Do you line that up to attrition? Do you line that up to kind of the offense also kind of struggling in those 3 games? Because I'm concerned in some of these bigger games coming up, say the college football playoff is in their future, that could be a source of weakness in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely such a kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing because in the first 3 quarters of the game, Oregon's defense has been really good,
dominant,
and statistically they still hold up in terms of national rankings and total defensive yardage and all that. But yeah, it has kind of seemed like in the fourth quarter, especially in drives where you're like, okay, like we need to make a stop here. It seems like teams have a tendency of going like 98 yards down the field and scoring. I mean, I think that this was kind of a combination of a few things. I mean, like this was such a tough game, and like the defensive guys were hurting by the end of it. I asked Bryce Betcher after the game, like, well, what does it feel like trying to tackle Mark Gronowski for 4 straight quarters? And he's like, I'm not going to lie, guys, like I'm hurting right now. Like it's a bear trying to wrestle that 235-pound quarterback down to the turf. But it's just, they're pretty good at getting guys to other teams to third down, but then it just seems like some of the big play conversion rates for the other team's offenses in key scenarios is pretty concerning. And so, I would like to be able to judge that in a game where Oregon's offense is humming in the second half and they're not just constantly giving the ball away and putting the defense in those pressure scenarios. But that is kind of like the one big kind of concern for this team is we've seen the offense now make plays in drives where they've absolutely needed to, but we kind of need to see the defense do that as well, especially as you're going to be facing some of these pretty higher potent offenses in USC and Washington here in the coming weeks.
Tyson, it's a stupid question, but it's one that we've kind of gone back and forth. Is this the best win of the season for the Ducks?
Probably. I mean, like in retrospect, probably. Like I'm still having to like battle between what my eyes saw at Penn State and what's happened since then, because I still think that was a really good Penn State football team, and I thought that was a great game of football, and I loved the way that Oregon clutched up in there. And so like I still want to say that was the best win of the season, but it's kind of hard to do that when the coach who game planned against you is golfing currently. So I think that was probably the best one. I mean, just considering it seemed like a lot of the country was trending towards Iowa in that game, and it was kind of a prove-it game for the Ducks. This isn't one that come playoff time is going to be, held on an altar and said like, oh, look at this massive quality win the Ducks had against Iowa. But it was one of those ones where I think people thought they might not have won, and they proved them wrong. And so I think that was a really quality victory for them.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor, Lookout, Eugene, Springfield. We'll put a pause on this, take a quick break, and bring you back. And we'll start looking ahead at Minnesota, what a Friday night game means under the lights, and maybe we'll dance a little college football playoff predictions as well. We'll do that next. Stick with us. Tyson Alger joins us, 105.1 The Fan. Continue our conversation here with Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Lookout Eugene Springfield joins us every single Wednesday to chat Ducks during the Duck season. We're happy to have him, and we'll continue on this. Look, Friday night game against Minnesota. You can catch all that action right here on the home of the Ducks, 105.1 The Fan Sports Network. I don't know. Where do we start on this? A Friday night game. Are they really that weird, or is this one of those stupid questions we ask interviewers to pretend like it's an edge that somebody's got?
I think it's probably more weird for fans than anybody else, or even us media members. Like, what time do I hit the road Friday, guys? Like traffic's already bad enough on Fridays around here. Like, is this a like a 10 a.m. departure?
Andy
think,
Dirt Johnson's leaving at 10 a.m.
You know what? As I've always followed the advice of, what would Dirt do? So,
and that's gotten you real far in life. Far in life.
It's gotten me right on this radio show. I think, probably the only big issue for the Ducks here is just recovery from injury. We don't quite know where Gary Bryant Jr. is at. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to hold Dekorian out for this game. Short week. Minnesota's coming off a bye, so they've obviously had some time to prepare for this one. But I think it's a lot better than some of those Thursday ones that we had. What was that? Probably about a decade or so ago. Like I think Friday's manageable at the very least.
I don't want to dive too deep into this game, but what problems in Minnesota are they going to present? Because defensively, they're pretty stout. They're a top 30 unit by basically every metric. Offensively, they're not. So is this? They can't drag you really into the water like Iowa can. But if you're Oregon, you have to at least look at that Iowa game and go, if we do get into this, we're gonna be fine, right?
Yeah, I think so. Minnesota's not bad. They're 6-3, but guess where all three of those losses have come? They've come away from Minnesota. So, and by the way, I didn't mean to slip into like a Minnesota there. Like
I heard it.
I'm getting festive for the game. Okay.
Don't you know?
They're a pretty one-dimensional offense. They pass the ball pretty well. They're not a great rushing team, and so I think that this is a game that actually matches up pretty well for the Ducks. Oregon's a very good pass defense. It's not setting up for weather for being a great passing game either. And the Gophers just aren't that good at rushing the ball. I think that this is one of those games where if Oregon decides that, hey, we want to just kind of do the bully ball and establish ourselves on the ground. Yeah, Minnesota's not that bad against the run defensively, but they're not Iowa. I think that this is just a game where Oregon is better kind of in both facets of how you want to win it. And I just don't think Minnesota has enough firepower to keep up with the Ducks in this one.
Yeah, I'm curious how behind the scenes Lanning might approach this, because I think one thing that's been very fortunate for the Ducks is throughout the season is they've run into a lot of different teams that they've kind of had to show different identities, as we love to talk about on this show. If they've got a team that can't really run the ball well, but is kind of a throwing, how much defense are you looking at as a setup for the USC game? Because USC is going to throw the football. And if you're playing a team that's one-dimensional but can throw the ball a little bit, how much are you just, let's play this game, get out of here, or can we test some things that we might want to run against the pass-happy team in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, like there might be some trial and error there too, and I think again a lot of it will depend on what sort of weather we actually get on Friday. But I think this will be a nice kind of like gradual increase into facing USC next week. Because if you look back at kind of the games Oregon's defense has had to play the last couple of weeks, they played against Iowa, who doesn't pass the football well. They played against Wisconsin, who doesn't pass the football well. I think this will be kind of a nice warm-up lap before facing two very good offensive teams the next couple of weeks, because the Ducks just haven't seen those the last 2 weeks of the season.
Not to put the cart before the horse, Harris and I were talking about this leading into the conversation with you about college football playoff and where Oregon is at right now, the 8-9 matchup with Notre Dame. I'm of the belief that even if Oregon loses to USC and USC and Oregon end up finishing both 10-2, Indiana, Ohio State, one of those is going to have one loss. Those four teams would make it in. Do you look at Oregon that they have to win out to make the college football playoff, or can they take one more loss and be in there?
I don't know, and I know that's not the answer that you guys want from us, but the committee's kind of shown that it doesn't respect Oregon in the same way that it respects the other one-loss teams right now. And then there are just a bunch of other two-loss teams out there. But again, those two-loss teams are going to start accumulating losses as well here as we go through the final 2-3 weeks of the season. And if it comes down to kind of like a bubble scenario, we'll have to see. We haven't had the committee really have to like make a decision on a big brand name Big Ten team like that yet. And so I think that the Ducks are attractive enough if you want to go from if they're considering eyeballs and notoriety of the teams they want in there. But I think it would be a lot easier if they just won these next 2 games and they didn't have to worry about it because USC and Washington, yeah, they're Big Ten teams and they were decent Pac-12 teams during their day, but like they haven't been kind of relevant in this in the last year or two. And so I don't know how much extra credit the Ducks are going to be getting with these wins either. So I think it hurts way more when they lose.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene Springfield. We'll finish up with this. I'm not the biggest. I don't love trying to discuss why the committee makes the decisions they make because I think half these games they're not even watching. And I'm with you. I don't think they gave Oregon enough respect. But I live in a world in my brain, so I try to just have kind of fun with some of these matchups. Since the playoff situation is going to change week after week after week, just indulge me a little bit. I do believe Oregon wins out. And I do believe the committee will continue to view them the same way they do now, despite a win against Iowa, which would be a win against a USC team that's ranked and a UW team that's a fringe-ranked team. I think this collision course with Notre Dame is an absolute fact, and that is going to happen. Can we live in a fun world right now? How wild would the Golden Domers coming to Autzen be for a playoff game?
Like the Ducks would have to go mirrored helmets too, right? Like just
You'd
to
have
have
to.
like the flashiest. That would be so fun, wouldn't it? Like I know if you're a coach, you probably want a top seed and to get that bye, even though what happened last year with the byes. But just the idea of before Christmas hosting a home playoff game and having that type of brand of a team coming into Autzen and what would be probably an excellent game of football. Like I wouldn't be upset about that, guys. Like I wouldn't mind writing about that one if I had to. So.
Oh shucks.
Yeah.
Oh dang it. I know I texted Dirt last night about that, and he said things that I can't say on the radio in his excitement about that potential matchup. Go ahead and pump your brand, amigo. What you writing this week?
Let's see here. We're writing just a lot of football this week, guys. Kind of the short week has us scrambling a bit. So we have our game preview coming out tomorrow. We'll be at Autzen on Friday, and then next week I have a little story where I talked to Oregon backup quarterback Brock Thomas about a superstar Little League team that he was on back in the day that had like 6 kids end up going D1. So yeah, just a little remember when. So.
Great. Well, he's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene Springfield. Go check out his work on any platform that you can find him on. We appreciate you. As always, my friend, enjoy the game on Friday and have a nice long weekend.
Hey, thanks a lot, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tyson.
Yep, that is Tyson Alger. He joins us every single Wednesday at 10:30 for a couple seggies as we put a bow on Oregon's win against Iowa, walking into Minnesota this Friday. Once again, you can catch that right here on The Fan. Pregame will start at 2 with Andy Dirt Johnson, Anthony Newman, and Dusty Hara live from Autzen Stadium. So you can catch that right here, as you always can. When we come back, we'll put a little bow on the college football playoff and Oregon's situation right now, and then we'll get into some more college football and then a lot of NFL to get through the rest of the show. Stick with us. We're having a good time. 105.1 The Fan.
This Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Jameis Winston this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. Starting quarterback Jackson Dart is in concussion protocol after he took a hard hit on a fumble in the third quarter of the Giants' 24-20 loss to Chicago. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will miss Week 11 against the 49ers after undergoing surgery for appendicitis. Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Jair Alexander has decided to walk away from football to focus on getting right physically and mentally. Alexander informed the Eagles of his decision Tuesday after their victory over Green Bay, in which Alexander did not travel with the team. And the Blazers will face off with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at 5 p.m. They currently sit at 8th in the Western Conference at 5-5. Portland is an 8.5-point favorite, and they will be without Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, and Scoot Henderson, who has been ruled out for Wednesday night's game. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson.
All right, hour number deuce. Thanks for hanging out with us. You missing the first hour? You can download that, the Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app. We're live on YouTube as well. If you missed Lucy this morning on the Sunrise Boys, and if you missed her, you can go back on the YouTube and check that out.
Old freaking
Queen of the Dongs.
Queen of the Dongs, and likes a well-done hamburger with nothing on it.
That's my wife as well.
I mean, those are some tendencies. She said a hot dog with nothing on it too, and I was like,
That's
what?
rough. I will go hot dog and just mustard. That's fine. I can do that. But just raw and a hot dog is a little rough for me.
That's just ay.
And if you missed, if you want to go hear the club from yesterday, you can check that on the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcast, rewind, fast forward, except for Into the Future, for that would be impossible.
Or if you're watching on the YouTube and you're wondering, why does Danny's head have the imprint of his hat on his forehead? You can hear the whole story.
Yeah, you can
in
hear
the opening
that.
segment.
Yep. You're such an idiot.
I had to go get Advil.
You're such an idiot. Coming up this hour, Web Gems is a good one as a coach potentially trolls some rival fans, but maybe not. AI. What it takes really to be an MVP.
You just never know.
And then we'll check in finally. We've been waiting 3 days to do this. We'll check in finally on the head coach of the Huskies. Is he still the head coach of the Huskies? But just finishing up some college football playoff and college and Oregon Duck chatter just in general. I wanted to read some of your texts. 503-864-6326. How does Alabama or Georgia with one more loss not drop below Oregon if Oregon wins out? That's easy, my friend. It just means more in the SEC. Bow! That's the truth. I mean, that's we were talking about this before we came on the show. If Texas A&M loses to Alabama in the SEC title game, which I think very much could happen, I don't see A&M falling below Oregon. Tyson nailed it, and we've been talking about it, and I think every show on this on this station has talked about it. The committee does not value Oregon.
No, they
That's
don't.
why I push back when you think if USC wins, they'll both get in. I don't. I think they'll put 3 teams in from the Big Ten and say, sorry, Oregon, your resume sucks. We don't watch your football games, and you just lost to USC, and they're in over you.
It's just a weird spot to be if a 10-2 Big Ten team.
I know, and a brand like Oregon.
Yeah.
Like Oregon is not a brand of Ohio State, but man, if your top tiers are Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas, and Alabama, I mean, Oregon's in that second tier.
Sure.
They are a bigger brand than Texas Tech, Texas A&M, IU. Dare I say Oregon's a bigger brand than Ole Miss at this point?
I mean,
Ole Miss is in the SEC, and they got Lane Kiffin. I
Yeah,
get that, but as far as brand goes,
I wouldn't push back against that one. I think I would push back against the A&M one just because it's regional. That's the thing. It's like A&M is a brand, but I would say if you want to put Oregon above them, that's fine. But Oregon above Ole Miss for sure. for sure.
For sure.
As far as a brand goes, yeah. 100%.
Let's see here. If Indiana beats Ohio State, they will have lost their only real test after Texas, who may be a 3-4 loss team by the end of the year. I think Ohio State drops to the 3-4 spot, and I think that's what they should. Say Alabama beats Texas A&M, then you would probably have an Indiana 1, a Bama 2, Ohio State 3, and A&M 4. But they're also telling us that conference championships won't deter anything. So who's to say if it goes chalk, let's say Ohio State beats Indiana and A&M beats Alabama, is 1, 2, 3, 4 really that different? Indiana might drop down to 3, but to your point earlier in the first hour, all of a sudden, Oregon looks like a 7 team.
Yeah.
Notre Dame kind of looks more like a 10 team, and they'll still line that up to face Ohio State.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering is if that starts happening, like let's say things just go the way we kind of expect them to go, but all of a sudden, there's a shift in the top 4, but basically everybody else sans Texas. Let's basically say 9 through 5. If all of a sudden there's a shuffle there with none of them losing any games. You know what I mean? It's like
totally.
That's weird. They're all still in that same range, but they've moved around. Why?
TV. It's the only answer.
If that's the case, then they can't dance around that anymore.
And you know what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? We're getting to a point where I think this representation of the playoff that they have this week is going to be the closest to what we actually see, in my opinion. Texas, I don't think will be there, and I don't think the U will be there. Outside of that, these teams, I think, are all going to be in the playoff picture. The problem is that there's not a whole lot more behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's going to get really difficult for the committee. But also, because of that, these are all really good teams that I wish they would just tell us it's for TV. Because you're going to have to go through a gauntlet anyway.
Yeah.
Notre Dame did not have an easy path to the national championship last year. Neither did Ohio State. And so you're going to have to win tough games, whether you're on the road in the first round or you got a bye in the second round and you're waiting for whoever your opponent is going to be. Just tell me you want Oregon, Ohio State as a matchup again. Tell me you want Ole Miss and Indiana.
Right?
Yeah, just do it. I know you want Georgia, Bama. Quit lying to me.
It kind of reeks of, I hate to use this example again, but it's like Herb Street saying, ESPN doesn't have any SEC bias. Like, Kirk,
bullshit.
We like you. Shut up. Like, we know what it is.
It's like the worst kept not secret in baseball. Or in baseball, sorry, I'm watching baseball.
No,
in sports.
But also, like, let's look at the paths real quick as it lays out right now. Georgia, South Florida is the 5-12 matchup. So you get Georgia, Bama. Notre Dame, Oregon, coin toss that. Let's just call it Oregon. So Oregon, Ohio State. Miami, Tech, you're probably picking Tech, and you get Tech A&M. Ole Miss, Texas, I'd take Ole Miss there. I would go chalk on that. And you got Ole Miss, Indiana. So you've got Georgia, Bama, Oregon, Ohio State, Tech A&M, Ole Miss, Indiana.
That's a state rivalry. 100-year-old state rivalry. That's conference on conference crime and conference on conference crime. And then spin the chamber. Tell me Kurt Signetti versus Lane Kiffin. Tell me the press conference for that game.
Oh, God.
Tell me the press conference.
Pre and post.
Pre and post for that game. Sign me up. That's great. I mean, that's great TV. Inject that in my veins. I'll watch that all day long.
So let's just keep it chalky just to kind of run this out real quick. If you want to pick an upset, go ahead. But I'll take Indiana and I'll take A&M. And I'll take Ohio State, and I think I'd take Georgia over Bama. I think Georgia would find a way to knock them off. So there's your upset. So you would have Georgia, Ohio State, and then A&M, Indiana. Where's the easy path here?
There is none.
Georgia has the quote-unquote easiest path as the 5 seed taking on South Florida in the first round. But other than that,
I don't see one.
I think some outsiders will look at Indiana and be like, well, they're not a real program, da-da-da-da.
And that's where I'm going to go, oh, thanks for sharing with us that you don't watch college football.
That they've looked like the best team in the country this year.
I think they should be number one,
yeah.
In my opinion. I know Ohio State's offense has finally come around, and apparently Julian Sain is a Heisman candidate none of us are talking about. But give me Indiana, because you heard it from Tyson Alger last hour. The way Penn State played Indiana, I'm giving Penn State a lot more credit. I don't think that's Indiana had a bad game or got in a dogfight and aren't ready. I don't think it's that at all. I think something happened within James Franklin and that program that it broke them. I don't know if it's losing to Oregon. I don't know if it's realizing you're in a dogfight against UCLA that you actually lose, but there is so much talent on that roster. And I'm coming around to believe that Penn State game against Oregon is a big win. And the Penn State game, but it's weird because the Penn State game against Indiana gets to be a gritty, tough win for Indiana, and we're going to reward you for that. But we're going to piss all over the Ducks because they they beat Penn State because they suck. And this Iowa team, you went to Iowa and won. That's not a big deal. Bro, that's not a big deal. I watch college football, and that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to Iowa City.
Nobody wants to go.
I mean, I want to go to Iowa
yeah.
City. I'm with Tyson on that. I would have loved to be in that environment.
But a visiting team? No.
Hell no.
Look, that was the easiest game to forecast of probably any this season.
Who had the ball last?
Yeah. Look, I picked Iowa because I thought like that score was going to be what we got out of this game.
And would it have shocked you if the script was reversed and Iowa walked downfield and kicked a field goal as time expired? Absolutely
not.
And I don't understand why that is a punishment. It feels so much all over again like Pac-12 bias. It's like if Pac-12 teams have to learn how to adapt, if USC has to learn how to play on the road in the Big Ten, which we keep harping on them about. We keep harping on about UW, got to win on the road in the Big Ten. Can Oregon, flashy Oregon, quote unquote, who hasn't been flashy for a decade, can they go play Big Ten football? They put all these standards on former Pac-12 teams in the Big Ten to evolve and adapt. And once they try to, it's always like, well, I don't know, you West Coast guys, we don't really like you anyway.
I mean, there's the talk about pre-show. How come Michigan and Ohio State are the only Big Ten teams that aren't playing on Friday?
Yeah, exactly. You want to talk about brands? I mean, USC is a brand up there with them in terms of brand.
Yeah.
And Oregon is not far behind.
And USC played Friday night last week. Oregon playing Friday night this week.
And is Oregon still on a half share on the Big Ten?
I think it was.
But you see what I mean? There's always these obstacles for West Coast teams to adapt to the Big Ten.
It's the regionality. That's what I'm talking about.
Nobody is asking, can Utah adapt to the Big 12? No, because Utah plays Utah football.
Yeah.
It's like if Iowa went to the Big 12, they're like, well, they throw the football in Big 12, and Kirk Ferentz goes, cool, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
We play Iowa football.
This is how we play here.
I don't like the double standard on West Coast teams, and I think it affects USC, I think it affects Oregon, and I think it's bullshit.
I do too. I 100% agree, and I wonder if they'll ever be able to get over that entirely without winning a national title.
And honestly, I think people got to die.
The old buddy-duddies?
The olds. Yeah, dude. It's just got to change around because
Patrick Harris wants to kill people.
because, if there's some dude who's on the committee who's 60 years old and is on there in 20 years, he's going to be like, well, let's say Oregon has two natties, okay, and a Heisman Trophy running back, okay, and USC's got 3 guys starting in the playoffs in the NFL at quarterback, they're going to be like, well, USC's still playing that Pete Carroll football, and, Oregon, just that Chip Kelly momentum's really helped them 20 years later. It's like, dude, they run the ball. Like, what are you talking? That is still going to exist until those people are no longer a part of it. Because I can sit here and tell you, dude, the SEC throws the football now.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Georgia runs the ball really well, but they all throw the football now.
I ran through how much the SEC is scoring and how much the Big Ten is scoring earlier. I was out on Monday. Numbers radio. It's real great. But I wanted to emphasize the point of just how different, what our brain tells us what a particular brand of football is and what's actually transpiring. This is such a random tangent, and you have no idea where I'm going to go with this. There is a longtime MLB writer who is out there telling everybody right now that Paul Skeens wants to be a Yankee.
I have seen this. I have not clicked on it because I don't want to live in that world.
It is a legitimate longtime MLB writer, a guy who's a Hall of Fame voter, Professional Baseball Writers Association, all those things.
Is it Peter Gammons?
No, it's not. It's Ryan Miller.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but there are people and they're like, well, he's been a Yankees fan his whole life. And I'm like, he grew up a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
What do you like? It's like I'm using this as an example because it's like
we're not watching,
we're not paying attention, we're not looking at this. The narrative. It's like, what do you mean? No, he didn't grow up a Yankees fan. What are we talking about?
Also, do you know that the media is the only one that's trying to push this hype that we all give an S about the Yankees?
Yeah, it's like
because it's been a long time. Not to take a shot at my boy Casey over there.
Wait.
But this desire of players wanting to be a Yankee and them being this historic thing, it's not gone by any means, but it's starting to fade away.
I can tell you where they want to be more.
Yeah, they want to be in LA way more. Yeah. Because are you watching? Like, no, we're not watching.
We're not.
It's like, I think the Yankees could beat the Dodgers in the World Series. It's like, oh, really? I can't. Their defense sucks. And what happens in Game 5? Their defense sucks, and they lose. And it's the same thing. They're doing it with the Pac-12 guys. Like, it's moving the goalposts all the time. And it's like, it's just ignorance.
It's horse blinders.
And that's why it's hard for me to get into, like, what they're looking at and the eyeball test.
If
and
we
all that
get what
stuff.
we've been talking about, where the things stay as they are kind of for the most part, but there's a shuffle, we know.
We know.
At that point in time, we know.
Mm-hmm.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They reshuffled their TV, and that's what it is.
And if you're a Duck fan, just put a bow on this. You went out, and you're fine. And that's what Lanning says, and that's the committee basically saying that to you. So that's your choice. All right, we come back. We'll stick a little bit in college football before we head over to the NFL. Jedd Fisch, you want to be here? Are you paying attention? 105.1 The Fan. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Come hang out with us. Also over in the YouTube chat, we're talking carpet jerseys. And I'm not going to come back from my thought that I love the carpet jersey.
It's fine. It's for me. It's one of those things where I'm glad that they actually leaned into an idea, because that's
instead of half-assing something.
So many of the Blazers jerseys, like the plaid. So I've got friends who work in design at Nike and Nike basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen iterations that did not make the final cut, and I'm like, why? Why did that not make the final cut? That is so dope. Like, that is so crazy. Like, if you're gonna do plaid or PDX carpet or like something crazy, you can't like oh, here's a little note of plaid. It's plaid.
10 toes down.
Yes. You're Portland. You're weird. You do all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
The Miami Vice, Miami Heat jerseys are the best alternates in basketball.
The San Diego Padres Miami Vice jerseys are the best City Connects in baseball.
It's like, when you do the thing, do it loud.
And they're obnoxious loud pastels.
Just if you're gonna be loud,
be loud.
Be loud. And the carpet jerseys are loud.
Mm-hmm.
I got no, not my favorite, not my Huckleberry, but if you're gonna do it, do it. Like, I was talking with somebody with the Blazers.
Most City Connect jerseys suck.
They do. Like,
really suck. Wrigleyville, that stuff is garbage.
Are horrendous. I would say that the NBA alternates this year, I saw the whole list yesterday or the day before. 24 out of 30
suck.
No.
Oh,
good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's only like 6 that just suck and blow. It's like, ugh, what are you doing here? Clippers jerseys, abomination, just an absolute abomination. It's like, what is this? What is this Microsoft Office cut and paste nonsense you have on this jersey? Just put the paperclip on there at that point. Nobody with the Blazers will listen to me. I want them to bring back the retro lowercase vertical letters.
I know.
It is the best
the Walton jersey.
It is the best jersey in basketball history.
Or do the lowercase Rip City. Did they have that?
They've done it, but like, you know what?
The Blazers is cool though.
If you want to keep it modern, if you want to make a twist on it, do Rip City in lowercase, but make them the red ones.
Yeah.
Not the black, not the white, the red. And do the lowercase, just like you did Blazers, use the same font and do Rip City. There's your modern little touch on it. But that is one of the cleanest, and it's not even me like growing up as a Blazers fan. That's just a dope jersey. Like the Orlando Magic pinstripes.
Classic.
Dope jersey. The Toronto Raptors Dino jerseys. Dope jerseys. Like, dude, those are three of
the Memphis Grizzly.
Yes.
The
Vancouver Grizzly.
Vancouver Grizzly, that's a dope jersey.
Like, those are
Houston Oilers.
Yes,
those are dope jerseys.
It doesn't matter. Like, when you see it, like the number of non-Blazers fans, like when I'm at like Summer League or some event or national guys are in town or when we're talking about jerseys, they will always be like, Blazers really have good jerseys. Like, they have a good color scheme, they have a good font. Like,
Pinwheel's cool.
Pinwheel's dope. But it feels, and it's not just a Blazers thing, it's a league thing. It's a league with Nike thing. They have missed the mark so many times of like highlighting the super dope things that they can do, and they don't. And it's like, can you just get back to doing that?
Huskies lose on the road to Wisconsin 13-10. Damon Williams, a pretty pedestrian day, 20 of 32, 134 yards, a tud and a pick. Rushed the ball 19 times for 61 yards.
That's a little man running a lot.
That was a little man running a lot. Wisconsin had 48 yards total passing from 4 dudes. 4 different guys threw a pass in this game,
including a punter.
And he was the leading thrower for this team. 1 of 1 on a fake for 24 yards. That is the leading passer for Wisconsin. Look, I'll give a lot of credit to Luke Fickell, okay? I really will. I can't believe I ever said this in my life. 2 games in a row, a really, really bad Wisconsin team kind of played a little bit.
Sure.
They hung with Oregon in the first half. Yeah. I never thought they were going to stick with it and, weather be damned, but they played a bad game and beat a Husky team that's ranked. I could sit here and lament endlessly about how the Huskies are garbage. I am very disappointed in them for this loss. I really thought that they were coming around. I mean, I picked them earlier this year to win more than their win total. Now that won't happen because I did not have them losing to Wisconsin on the road, which has put their coach kind of in the headlight, who's been linked all season long, really, with the Florida job and now the UCLA job. The conversation about his wife and kids living in Arizona because they, quote, hate Seattle because it rains.
Well,
It's a much beleaguered coach.
Well, there's also he has said this, and I want to give some credence to it for sure. He's moved around so much, which is him, that he wanted to let his kid finish high school in the same spot.
I have the clip of that. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
People that have no idea what's going on. Honestly, they don't know what's happening in our program. They have no idea how excited I am about the youth in our program. They have no idea how excited I am about the fact that we're playing 6 or 7 true freshmen. No idea how excited I am about the fact that Damon Williams, I believe, has a chance over the next year or 2 years after this to be one of the all-time best quarterbacks that have come through this area. I don't think that they would know how I enjoy coaching here, that we've spent a ton of money into building this program the way we want to build it, that I had a great hand in all the facilities. I was a big part of making the decisions on how we wanted to recreate this space, to give our players an unbelievable opportunity to have a recovery room that they never had, working on making sure that they have the best nutrition they could possibly have, give them great new meeting rooms, new office spaces for our coaches. I think, unfortunately, what happens is they just want to tie coaches to lists, and then we have to sit there and defend it rather than just be able to just tell our fans, like, our players, our coaching staff, myself, my family, we love coaching at the University of Washington. And the ridiculousness of people that want to claim that because my wife and daughters are living in Arizona, because I have a 16-year-old who's been in 5 different schools in the last 8 years to finish her high school, has anything to do with my decision, or the ridiculousness of just putting my name on a list just to do it. Only that does affect recruiting. It affects our team. It affects our staff. And my hope is that our players, our coaches, our families understand how much we love it at Washington.
That is Jedd Fisch when discussing why his name is on lists. We had Chris Fetters on this show, 2 months ago? Month ago? I think it was Apple Cup was the last time we talked to him. And he said, and I quote, Jedd Fisch is here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
And that's your own people that cover that sport. And, I hear him a lot. As a parent, I definitely feel for that. I know that if I moved around for this job to be in this industry and my oldest, if she was making new friends every year, that'd be really hard on her. That's kind of just how her genetic makeup is. And so I definitely hear that. But never once did I hear him really say, I love it here. I can't wait to be here forever. Because, dude, when you're talking about all the great players you have, dude, you can just take them with you.
Yeah, there's a big part of that. But we always want to operate in the black and the white of like, he either has to be here or he's going somewhere else. Like, you know what? Maybe he is happy there, but there is something else he'd rather, like if the right opportunity came up and that he would be okay with. But also, maybe even with that, I mean, we're human. It does suck that, people are questioning him and that his wife and daughter are staying in Arizona because they hate Washington.
Sure, I can be humane about that.
It's like, well, you know what, dude? Look, coming from the military, I didn't understand it as much then because I was so much younger and I didn't have a family and kids and all those kind of things. And the amount of moving that we do and just how insane of a life that is.
I got a ton of military brat friends that are the same way. Yeah.
And it's like, if they had the option to stay somewhere and finish up school, and while dad was deployed somewhere, hey, dad's going from Arizona to Washington. You can actually say that. Let's say they went from Luke Air Force Base in Arizona up to McCord Air Force Base up in Washington. And like, you know what? Dad's going to be there, but in 30 days, he's going to deploy and he's going to go to Afghanistan for 10 months. Can we just stay here at Luke?
Yeah.
And she's 17. Like, let her finish up her senior year. Like, you're gone anyways.
Yeah, the amount of toll, like, you tell a 17-year-old girl going into her senior year that you got to make new friends and hope that somebody asks you to the prom. Like, as a parent, those are real conversations I have in my brain.
And it's like, it sounds like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it is. Like, so that part of it, like the human side of it, and the same thing with like, having your name come up on lists. 90% of me is like, Jed, that comes with the job, dog.
Totally.
But 10% of me
and you should be pleased by that.
But because here's the 10%. Number one, unless you're actively doing it, and his agent could be doing those things, that does happen.
Sure.
The other part of it is he could be, like I said, let's say he's 90-10. He wants to be at Washington, but the Florida job is the job that he really wants. That's his dream job. That's his Kenny Dillingham. That's his it's Jeff Brom at Cincinnati. It's like, it's your alma mater. It's a place you place you want to be at.
Jonathan Smith at Michigan State.
Yeah. Oh. But
Sorry, I had to.
but he does really like Washington. But now he has to go in and explain to his players every single time. But that's also where the larger part of like my feeling on this is that comes with the gig, dog.
Yeah, and I think there's something that's not been discussed on this situation is this kind of harkens back to what I was saying about the West Coast, the Pac-12 bias and kind of things. I don't know, and this might even include us, who should know better than anybody. I don't know if we really know how great of a job UW is. You know,
It's in a weird space. It's not a bad job.
It's definitely not a bad job. It's a top end Big Ten job for sure. It was a top end Pac-12 job. It's a top end Big Ten. They went to the Big Ten for a reason. That's a good brand.
This is a team that was in the national title game 3 years ago now.
And last time I checked, Chris Peterson took them to a playoff, and Kalen DeBoer took them to a like. This has a program with storied history, Rose Bowls. You know, the shared natty in the 90s.
How much does this hurt you?
It hurts me a lot.
To say out loud.
It really does. But the honesty is that
As a Washington State Cougar.
Is that I hate you. I think what's really difficult is that we don't know how good of a job this is. Is this a job for a Kalen DeBoer to find before he gets in Alabama? Is this a job for Jedd Fisch to find before he gets to a Florida? Or can someone actually be there for a long time and not a good time? Because everybody's looking for a long time.
For sure, but how many programs out there are lucky enough to have that?
Would a Brian Kelly think UW is a good job?
I think so.
After being fired from LSU.
Yeah, there's probably less pressure.
If there's the rumors are is that he's connected to the Michigan State job. Would you rather have UW or Michigan State?
Got hit with the show cause, by the way.
Right. Would you rather have UW or Michigan State? That's an easy one for me. It's UW.
100%.
So I think part of this too is that we just don't know where we feel about UW.
Well, fan text lines, I think summed this up pretty well as far as where UW fits in the pecking orders. They're definitely a top 2 job in Washington.
Yeah, right behind Mark Few at Gonzaga.
There you go.
I mean, it's so great. My ID left for UW. So tell me that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Also, shout out Bill Moose for doing the same thing, but going somewhere else. You losers. All right. We've gone way over. Let's slide into the NFL and have a little MVP discussion on what it actually takes. It's going to be a doozy this year. NFL chatter right here on Portland Sports Leader. But first, we'll toss to Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Jameis Winston against the Green Bay Packers this upcoming Sunday. Starting quarterback Jackson Dart is in concussion protocol after he took a hard hit on a fumble in the third quarter of the Giants' 24-20 loss to Chicago. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will miss Week 11 against the 49ers after undergoing surgery for appendicitis. Philadelphia Eagles cornerback Jair Alexander has decided to walk away from football to focus on getting right physically and mentally. Alexander informed the Eagles of his decision Tuesday after their victory over Green Bay, in which Alexander did not travel with the team. And the Blazers will face off with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at 5 p.m. They currently sit at 8th in the Western Conference at 5-5. Portland is an 8.5-point favorite, and they will be without Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, and Scoot Henderson, who has been listed out for Wednesday night's game. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Oregon Ducks, the
I'm ready, Slick. Are you?
All right, Web Jam's coming up next. Everybody's favorite. Do it every day at 11:45, so we'll get to that next. I got a funny story for you out of the NFL. Might involve artificial intelligence, as one man claims. I think it might just be a great troll job. And if so, that's fantastic. Because you can't always count on AI. But you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Looking around, I know that this is always a contentious thing, but don't look now. The LA Chargers are 7-3. Can we think of a team more injury-riddled than the LA Chargers?
Bucks.
Oh, fair. Okay. So then this goes into a Baker Mayfield situation as well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 6-3. The Chargers are 7-3. Both playoff bound. And I believe both of these teams will be playoff bound. Now, because they lose games sometimes, and because these quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, don't have amazing games week to week due to their situations, should that not gain them a little more credit in an MVP discussion? Should that not gain them a little more than even a Drake May who's having a great year, or the usual suspects of Mahomes and Allen?
To an extent, sure.
Wasn't that the same reason they gave for hyping up Joe Burrow's MVP last year?
Right, because that team was ass, and he was amazing.
Yep.
Because I look at Sam Darnold right now. Let's take Matt Stafford and Sam Darnold, for example, all right? Two teams that are going to clash this weekend in must-watch NFL football. Both those guys are playing great.
JSN's on pace to have the first 2,000-yard receiving season for a wide receiver.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Those guys are bona fide MVP candidates. But look at the Rams and the Seahawks. They might be the best teams in the NFL, AFC or NFC. They have skipped the injury bug for the most part. I wish we could live in a world where the MVP, the V, meant a little bit more than the M.
How long did you workshop that one for?
Right now.
No, right off the dome?
Right off the dome, dude.
Okay.
Well, I don't run into doors.
Well, wow. Wow.
Sorry, amigo.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You can put it on the board.
We got to get the update of that where it says, you can put it on the door. God. Yeah, and that's the thing is like the MVP is such a weird award in the big three, in baseball and basketball and football, because it seems to change what it is on any given year. And I don't like that.
Well, we're going to have a discussion on Friday because 4 o'clock, American League MVP gets announced in Major League Baseball. But I talk about this ad nauseum with the NBA. Look, I will call it right now. It is November 12th at 11:42. The 2027 NBA MVP will be Cade Cunningham. Because that narrative is starting to grow now.
Wemby. It'll be Wemby.
I think Wemby wins it this year.
I mean, there's a real chance that he could,
But
depending on where they finish.
but there's this small grassroots campaign going with Cade Cunningham.
Well, it's not grassroots. It's American. Because if it's Wemby, it's been Giannis, Jokic, Shea.
It could be Luka this year.
Like, it's been non-American. Embiid.
Well, basketball wasn't made in America, so it was made by a Canadian.
Yeah, well, it was here. Beach basket, baby. What's more American than that? But in the NFL, like, people were debating the Josh Allen, Lamar stuff, and I'm like, look, man, Lamar's got Derrick Henry back there.
Totally.
Like, you look at Josh Allen, we talked about Green Bay and their lack of weapons. Green Bay would take Buffalo's weapons, but I think that's the only team that you could say that about as it pertains to Buffalo. Like, yeah, you've got better weapons of the competitors than the Packers,
who have nothing.
Yes.
I mean, I love Jacobs, but he didn't have a great game.
No, and without Kraft, they just don't have a dude. And so it changed because, there's the argument for, well, look at the Ravens without Lamar. And it's like, well, yeah, like he's also very valuable, but also
But I've also seen the Ravens with Lamar this year.
So it's like there's a little bit of, okay, let's see where this goes. But there's a reason why quarterback is the most valuable position in sports.
No doubt.
The ask of them is just greater as far as individual impact.
if Myles Garrett has a Michael Strahan season,
20
and
sack season,
sets the record for most sacks, because TJ Watt does the same thing, and they go on a playoff run but don't win it, that blame goes on Aaron Rodgers, or that blame goes on, Shedeur Sanders or
whoever.
Dylan Gabriel, whoever's the quarterback. That you're right, because as valuable as Myles would be, or Strahan was that year, Warren Sapp in a similar situation, Reggie White previously, they don't happen, because you're right. So why can't the quarterback with the most odds stacked against them not get a little extra love? That's how I feel about Herbert and Baker.
Yeah, I
Because right
agree.
now the MVP is, like Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford.
But also
Drake May, for God's sake.
There's always the expectations that tie on to things too.
Danny Dimes.
Nobody expected the Colts to be great. Nobody
Nope.
expected the Seahawks to be great.
Nobody predicted the Patriots at 8-2.
No. Look, I picked
People liked them.
I picked them as a playoff team.
8-2 is wild.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming. So, yeah, it's an interesting spot. Like I'm watching ESPN over your shoulder right now, and Mike Tannenbaum's out here saying that Chiefs are going to win the AFC West.
Do we need to have this conversation again? Are you watching the NFL?
Yeah, it's
are
like,
you
How many
paying
games are
attention?
they behind?
Yeah,
Right now they're out of the playoffs.
They're 5-4, right?
Yeah, like what are we talking about?
And they're going to Denver this weekend. Look, we can sit here and bitch and moan about Bo Nix all we want in that Denver offense.
Narrative.
Oh, God. That's why I'm glad we live here, dude.
Narrative. It is what it is. But, yeah, should Stafford get extra credit? Should Herbert get extra credit? Should Baker Mayfield get extra credit? Yes.
Sure.
I think they should.
Yeah. They're in situations that not everybody was gifted.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Rant over.
but also, with the exception of the Bucks, and maybe we need to kind of reevaluate Raheem Morris, like, who's coaching those teams?
Yeah. That is true. There's no Liam Cohen anymore in Tampa.
No, and Baker's done this with what?
There's no Bruce Arians
three straight
anymore.
OCs.
Mm-hmm.
So
we always talk about, Alex Smith had 4 different OCs in his first 3 years, blah, blah, blah. But Baker's got that same situation, and he's played very well in all 3 instances.
Turns out he's pretty good at making turning OCs into head coaches.
Turns out Baker is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Why am I so spicy yesterday and today about random things that I don't need to be spicy about?
I'm rubbing off on you a little bit.
You love it. You are loving it.
Look, and then when you do, I just let you go. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Also, I'm concussed.
It's very nice of you. Very nice of you. All right, we come back. Web Gems, everybody's favorite.
You put that door there. That's what you wanted. You wanted to get spicy.
I watched Cooley do it, and I was like, hey, Cooley, you should, you know what? I just won't say that. Web Gems is next. Is artificial intelligence trolling rival fan bases? We'll get to that. 105.1 The Fan. All right, this is Web Gems, everybody's favorite. We do it every day at 11:45. Coming up in the big nooner, stick in the NFL, and there's a team that I'm very concerned about due to their quarterback play, an injury to a high draft pick, and what this could mean for this franchise going forward. We'll touch on a little bit more on some college football as well. I want to ask the chances of this team who's on the outside looking in, and then we'll look ahead for Blazers-Pelicans tonight. 5 o'clock tip, right?
Yes.
5 o'clock? Question mark?
I had to think about that for a second. I'm like, New Orleans time zone difference? Yeah.
This is your job, not mine.
No, it's 8 o'clock. It's one of the 8 o'clock games. That's why I was like, yes. So it's dumb.
At least there's a lot to do late at night in New Orleans.
On a Wednesday night for sure.
It's not going to be me going to a basketball game if I live in New Orleans, I'll tell you that.
To be fair, it's not that for most people in New Orleans. So,
as I like to say, and judging by the attendance, you aren't.
Nope.
But this Web Gem story comes to you by way of Miami Beach. Now, that's a place we'd like to be right about now. Did you see the video, apparently, of Mike McDaniel driving by the Bills bar on his way home from the stadium after the Dolphins beat the Bills? He drove by with the window down and just waved to the fans outside the Bills bar in Miami.
Got him twice.
That's amazing. Well, they didn't win the first one.
Well, I mean,
they almost did, though. That's amazing. But then he was asked about it, and this is what he said in his press conference.
That's why I like the good old days, the throwbacks of yore, where you could trust the internet and the images, because it is pretty detailed. That I do live in that area, but I mean AI, right? Are you confirming it? I mean, I live in that area. AI is real. That's what I got for you. No, for the record, I did not answer it. That's the punchline of the humor.
Dude, this guy's so weird.
He's a weird dude.
He's so weird. I read an article today about how Dan Quinn got him sober because I guess it was real bad for him.
It means out of the league for it.
And good for him on that, but yo, dude, you're weird, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a MIT grad.
Yeah, he's got a brilliant offensive mind. Brilliant
Harvard,
offensive mind.
I mean, he's Ivy League educated or MIT. I can't remember which.
Yale.
Is it Yale? I think you're right. Yeah. But he's incredibly smart. And people that typically have those kind of smarts, that level of intelligence, they're usually weird people.
Little tism.
Yeah.
Little tism.
There's a little tick to them. Yeah. If you're playing the click track, there's some paradiddles in there.
There is absolutely no way he didn't drive by the bar.
Oh, 100%. But also, I love the AI is real. He went full on, the truth is out there.
And I love that he basically called it out, see how I didn't answer that question? It's dude, that means the answer is yes.
Let me explain the joke for you.
If the answer is no, then you would have said no.
This is why it makes it funny.
Am I the only one that thinks that he took a second lap?
I mean, yeah.
This guy here is dead.
Cross him off then.
That's how you approach that.
I mean, I'm not saying that you believing that is wrong. I'm with you. He definitely, turned the block on him for sure. For sure.
I need more of this in the NFL because this is such a college story. This is such a college fan base story. Kalen DeBoer accidentally drives through the center of campus at Auburn after the Iron Bowl,
Somebody poisons a tree.
Don't do that. I'd forgotten about that.
Tumor's Corner.
That's messed up. But yeah, this is Kirby.
Didn't that guy end up being he was a cop?
Something like that. Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
This is Kirby Smart, on his way out of Tuscaloosa. He finally gets a W against Alabama, and he's like, tee.
This is Joe Burrow with the cigar.
Without a doubt.
That's what this is. Oh, you thought?
I want more of this in the NFL.
This is right up there with pimping the bat and end zone celebrations and all. It's fun.
It would have been he drives. I saw the video, and I'm not a big car expert, but he drives a Mustang-esque type car that probably has some to it. I would
100% put him as an electric vehicle guy.
No, I don't think so. It looked like a Mustang style, so a long two-door
sports
car, but with some meat in it.
Okay.
I would have just sat there and spun. And
According to Google AI, it's a black Audi RS7.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice car.
I mean, Miami.
And you make millions. Yeah. I would have just sat there.
You're not driving the Corolla.
I would have just sat there and peeled out. And if a cop arrested you, you got two things going for you. One, you're sober. So it's okay, it's a speeding ticket or a traffic infraction. And two, the cop's probably a Fins fan.
Yeah,
And he's
well,
like, Coach, don't do that.
That didn't work out real well for Tyreek.
Well, Tyreek is also a jerk.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Fair point. But McDaniel is different. Like the weird head coach. Hey, coach, I'm sorry you're going to get fired. I'll let you off on this one.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't do that, but fins up.
Or, hey, how about you get Jalen Waddle a few more touches?
Yes, from a fantasy team. You
yeah.
know, my wife will send death threats if you don't.
Correction, it was a Bentley.
Oh.
Matt Black Bentley.
McDaniel in a Bentley.
Tinted windows.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a flex I didn't think he had in him. The Audi made sense.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah.
The Bentley.
That's more of a Tyreek.
Right.
That's good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you, I guess.
No, I'm not questioning. That's a 10
Okay,
toes down.
look
Good
at
for you. Good for you. The Bentley rolling by the Bills bar. Because you know what probably happened? Somebody was like, damn, check that Bentley out. Oh my God, that's Mike McDaniel. And he's just looking at you, driving by. Hello.
McDaniel out there in a Continental?
A black Lincoln Continental?
No, a Bentley Continental.
Oh, dude. Nice ride. It's a nice ride.
That ain't bad.
That ain't bad. All right, coming up, we'll stick in the NFL and the big nooner. We'll start there. This team I am genuinely concerned about, from quarterback play all the way down to a recent injury, draft situation, the whole shebang, why this fan base should be on high alert. We'll do that next. Loaded hour number 3. Stick with us. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Jameis Winston against the Green Bay Packers this upcoming Sunday. Starting quarterback Jackson Dart is in concussion protocol after he took a hard hit on a fumble in the third quarter of the Giants' 24-20 loss to Chicago. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will miss Week 11 against the 49ers after undergoing surgery for appendicitis. Some MLB news for you, as Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz has pled not guilty to charges that he and teammate Emmanuel Clase took bribes to help gamblers win bets on pitches they threw. He has been released on a $500,000 bond until his next court date on the 19th. And the Blazers will face off with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at 5 p.m. They currently sit at 8th in the Western Conference at 5-5. Portland is an 8.5-point favorite, and they will be without Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, and Scoot Henderson, who have been listed out for Wednesday night's game. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with Andrew Nemec, Thursday evenings at
Two down, one to go here. Finish you up on today's program. Send you to Ducks Insider from 1 to 2, the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, and then is Primetime, baby, from 3 to 7. Take you all the way home. Finish up 13 hours of live, continuous, local, regional sports talk radio. Coming up this hour, we'll dabble a little bit in the NBA. Zers take on the Pelicans tonight. We talked some college football a lot in the first hour and a half, really. And there's one team that's kind of on the outside looking in the playoff structure, and I want to know if they've got a chance. So we'll look to that. But finishing up kind of our day rodeo in the NFL today, there's a team that I've been kind of teasing about in this situation that has had really rough quarterback play. Supposed to be a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The injury news yesterday about your first-round draft pick, top first-round draft pick that you traded up for, goes down for the year in a knee injury. I'm starting to, and I wish Jeff Rust was in today because I'd be interested in his thoughts, but I'm starting to have concerns about the Jacksonville Jaguars going forward right now. Trevor Lawrence is rating as a QB, is floundering around the aspects of the Dylan Gabriel's, the Cam Wards, kind of the bottom Bryce Young's, the bottoms of the barrel in the NFL. And this was kind of a big year. I said this at the beginning. I don't remember if you agreed or disagreed, but I said this was a huge year for Trevor Lawrence to show me, are you the guy? You make a lot of money, and the talent is there, no doubt, but it's just not coming together. And will Cohen be the guy to finally figure it out? That hasn't really happened. And if you couple that with an immovable contract of Trevor Lawrence due to how much money they're giving him, on top of the draft capital that you gave up for Travis Hunter, who can no longer play this year, if everything is torn but the LCL, is that what we're told? If that's the situation?
No, the LCL was the only thing torn.
Oh, okay. The LCL is the only, if that's the situation, like, you hope he comes back fully healthy at the beginning of next year and it's not a full year off. I worry about this team going forward. The draft capital that's been invested into Travis Hunter, who we haven't seen, the money spent on Trevor Lawrence, the two big names on that. You know, Etienne's a nice story. He's good. I worry about that. If I'm a Jags fan, I worry about what the next 4 years look like.
Yeah, because nothing at the top has really materialized. That's kind of the deal. And Liam Cohen was asked, as it pertains to Travis Hunter, are you going to keep playing him two ways? And Cohen's like, well, it's too premature, but when he comes back, everything's up for evaluation, like every player.
Coach speak.
There's some coach speak there for sure, but like you're going to have to evaluate that. Like the wear and tear on his body, like football's football. There you go. There's a little drop for prime time. Guys are going to get hurt. no matter what you do. There's freak stuff that happens all the time when you're that big and that physical and that many things are happening. Guys are just going to get hurt. Freak injuries are going to happen.
Do you think he's hurt because of that load of trying to play both, trying to figure out if he can play both, or do you think it's just he got hurt?
I think he just got hurt.
Yeah, me too.
I think he just got hurt. But I mean, there's definitely there's different types of wear and tear when you're talking about playing wide receiver versus playing corner.
Mm-hmm.
They ask of you, like the physicality demanded, the how you attack things, the mindsets are certainly different. I mean, offensive players, defensive players. I mean, I don't think you can really question that as far as like mentality and how physical you have to be in certain instances. But whether Hunter turns into a guy or not, it's a huge question because Trevor Lawrence hasn't turned into a guy.
Mm-mm.
He's fine.
He's fine.
But number one picks aren't supposed to be fine. And this isn't this, that quarterback class is a dud. Lawrence was looked at as like Andrew Luck 2.0.
Yeah, in my lifetime,
that was football Jesus.
In my lifetime, the quarterbacks that have been drafted, and even before my lifetime, the three I always think of that were walking in like these guys are day one starters and gonna be Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. John Elway, Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And Andrew Luck showed it. I mean, Andrew Luck was everything built for it. I mean, he was
incredible.
He is the unicorn of unicorn situations. You think Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson was weird? Andrew Luck's the unicorn of unicorns of retiring and from the NFL. But Lawrence just hasn't really hit. And you gave up those draft picks for next year to get Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think this team sits, I just had it up, they are 5-4 in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
One game ahead of the Houston Texans. Do you see this team continuing to rise this season? Or do you see this team continuing to slow down for the season?
I mean, look at their depth chart, right? They traded for Jacoby Myers, so their wide receiver core is Brian Thomas Jr., who was incredible last year, but he's been disappointing this year, and he's been dinged up.
And he's your first-round pick from last year.
Mm-hmm. And Jacoby Myers is entirely fine as a second wide receiver.
We talked about this.
Really solid as a third wide receiver. So you got Trevor Lawrence. You've got Etienne. Your tight end play is whatever. Offensive line, it's fine. You're not writing home about it, but you aren't the Texans and you aren't getting your quarterback killed every single week. Defensively, Travon Walker was a high-end draft pick. He's good. He's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
But is he where he, draft slot wise, is that the guy that, you get with another number one overall? That's the thing is, number one overall pick, Travon Walker. Number one overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. Number one overall pick, Travis Hunter. None of those three guys that are, when you're talking about three number one picks, none of them's franchise changing. None of them are franchise defining. You've had three of them. You miss on one, that can hurt you. You miss on two, that really hurts you. You miss on three, and I'm not saying that they're bad players, but when you're drafting that high, they have to be dudes.
And in 2026, you do not have a first-round draft pick.
I mean, Eric Armstead's fine. Just going up and down their roster. Greg Newsome at corners, fine.
That's what it is. It's a bunch of fine.
Olakun's fine.
And if your money is wrapped up in a quarterback that is completely disappointing and going the wrong direction in terms of development and maturation, I should say, not maturity, this is going to hamstring you. And this could take, look, you could, I don't even think you could convince the fan base to put a reset on it now. You'd have to wait 3 more years to put a reset on something that might need a reset now. And I think for the first time in our lives, the Jags seem like they have their S together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the Khan family cares. They're dumb,
right?
But I think they care.
And
Cohen looks like he could be a good coach. The kid general manager they brought in
could be a future, a DePodesta type kid.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What is he? 28 years old?
Something like that.
And baby.
And, we can look around the NFL. We talk about this at exhaustion sometimes. The Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, the New Orleans Saints, like the Miami Dolphins. Those ownerships are an absolute train wreck, and it prevents them from being any good unless you have a transformational coach and quarterback in Sean Payton and Drew Brees. But the Jags feel like they're kind of turning it around. The Doug Peterson thing was weird. The Urban Meyer thing for sure was weird. But then it was like, okay, guys, let's get our S together. Stop messing around right now. Let's actually figure out how to build a stable franchise. Liam Cohen, I'm with you. I think he's an NFL coach.
Yeah.
And not just a good offensive mind. I think he's an NFL head coach. But these situations, Travis Hunter, 2 number ones for Travis Hunter, and a quarterback you pay almost $50 million to, or is he over $50 million? to not be very good, sometimes you miss on draft picks, I wasn't a Jackson Dart guy. Wrong there.
Yeah, but when you miss on 3 number 1 overall picks, and some of that's luck.
The ripple can be 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, you probably roll each one of those out 4 years.
Easily.
The impact of what they are. So
especially you gave Lawrence an extension and paid him top 10 money.
So yeah, that's it. They are a team, like I'll use my Raiders because it's what's familiar for me. My Raiders suck, but the books are clean. You've got a couple young guys that you believe in. You're not attached to anyone else. You've got your draft picks. Things are like, you're not good, but there's a path to getting better.
For sure.
If you allow yourself. And
why we like Pete Carroll as the head coach there.
It's like there's a sense of stability in the organization. Now, the Jags do have a sense of stability, but how do they get better? They don't have draft capital. They've got money committed to a quarterback. You've got two other young guys in Hunter and Walker who could they be good? Sure. Does anybody look at them as like they could be great? I don't know. So what's your path?
I don't know. That's why I'm concerned. If you're a Jags fan, you should be very, very concerned.
It's the genuine mediocrity spot, and you're like, well, crap.
I hate mediocrity in the NFL. Is a
brutal.
bad place to be.
Because
let's take Casey Steelers for example. Like, it's great to have Mike Tomlin and winning seasons every year, but you're not building through the draft. Like in terms of getting a high end guy, you're always like trying to maybe reach in the first round for a steal, or taking big risks in the 3rd through the 6th round, and mediocrity is a bitch place to be.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not an edge rusher, I don't think the Steelers draft correctly.
Boom.
That's how it's been for my entire lifetime. If the Steelers aren't drafting a pass rusher, that's a bad draft.
Wow.
With the exception of what, Ben?
Yeah, probably.
But Ben was...
But I think they still signed undrafted James Harrison that year.
Oh, yeah.
And Tommy Maddox was supposed to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
And Ben was a top 10 pick, and the Steelers haven't had a top 10 pick in a long time. That was probably the last time.
Yeah.
Side note, on some cap books being clean stuff that I heard yesterday on driving home, the Philadelphia Phillies, their books this coming season are like 260 mil, something like that. The next year, their money committed is only $130 million.
Ooh.
So this isn't worth talking about a ton. I just thought it was an interesting stat that in 2027, assuming there's no lockout, expect the Phillies to spend money.
But the thing is that the NFL...
And if I'm a Philly fan, it's like, damn, this window's closing, and it's like, another one's about to open up.
But that's the thing in the NFL, the salary cap can be, pushed around and manipulated, and
you can borrow from Peter to pay Paul pretty easily.
But should you do that?
Correct. Some teams can do it really well. If you've got a Josh Allen who's making, top 5
or
money.
Mahomes, you give him a half a billy,
right
over 10 years. Like, yeah, you can do some things. Where the
Move
Jags,
it around.
It's kind of funny, man. The Jags and the Dolphins are both in these spots where you're like, they've got plenty of good players, but like, who are you saying absolutely no, we are not trading this player?
Nobody on the Jags for me. Nobody.
It's the same for me with the Dolphins.
Yeah. All right, we'll slide over back into some college football. I wanted to take a peek at some teams outside because this weekend's going to be a pretty big sorting hat. I've got my eye on one team, and can they do it? They're a big fan of this show, and we're a big fan of them. We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan. Slide back into a little college football. Finish up, send you on your way. Nice little show today. Nice little week here at the Fan Sports Network. We will not be treated to a Thursday night delight tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe the Jets win.
I mean,
Thursday night games, dude.
it's also the Jets.
I'm going to start calling, the easiest way to get people fired up is call something un-American.
Ooh,
I'm going to start saying Thursday night football is un-American.
I like that.
We don't send troops overseas to sacrifice their lives for Thursday night football.
Well, I mean, we do, but we want it to be better. The Armed Forces Network does reach all around the world, and
those people need a better product than this.
To be honest, that's what got me back to the Blazers. Is I would watch because of the time zone differences. I got a ton of Blazers games on AFN when I was overseas, and that's what kind of got me back to basketball. As weird as that sounds, and that was
I don't think so.
That was some pretty garbage basketball.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those poor guys in crazy weird parts of the world. I'll watch basketball.
We want to watch it all.
Yeah, just give me something.
But also, we can stream overseas now, so we don't have.
Well,
to.
yeah, I guess now would be a different world.
Back then, though, we had AFN, Armed Forces Network.
Yeah, and it was just whatever they put on.
And you're like, all right, well, here we go.
Dude, they should hire outside the ranks for that. Like put me in charge of the Air Force Network.
There you go.
Just so that the Armed Forces Network, excuse me. Therefore, it's like
you're the one selecting games.
Yeah. Tonight,
just nothing but Maction.
No, I couldn't do that.
Oh, you think it's tough over there? Here you go. I'm gonna make it a lot worse.
Yeah, things suck over here too, losers. Guess what I have to watch tonight? If I have to watch this tonight, you have to watch this tonight.
It's tough.
I'm trying to find teams that are not currently in the playoff situation that have a shot to get in because, look, we'll probably get to this on Friday between Oklahoma and Texas. I think both those teams are in for a rude awakening this weekend. And if they both lose, they're out because I don't think 3-loss SEC teams are getting in. I don't think any 3-loss team is getting in no matter what conference you are in. Not yet. That might be a 16-team thing, but I don't think that's a 12-team thing. So I'm trying to go around and look at people, basically the Ole Miss model. I've got a loss, maybe 2 losses, but I'm going to miss the old conference championship game. May I deliver to you the Utes of University of Utah?
They're up there, but the problem that they have is, and I know we talk about conference games, they won't count, blah, 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 blah. Utah's 2 conference losses. They're 7-2. They finished with Baylor, K-State, Kansas, I think is what it is. So as
3-0.
As it stands right now, they're very likely going to finish 10-2. They probably won't get the Big 12 title game because
it'll probably be BYU, Texas Tech again.
Because Tech plays UCF and West Virginia to close out. BYU plays. Oh, BYU does have TCU, Cincinnati, UCF. Cincinnati's 25. So
Utah took him to the wood chipper, though.
Yeah, well, not only that. Yeah, that's.
So
BYU is the head-to-head against Utah.
Exactly. So
it's BYU.
It's where you're kind of up against it because I'd love to see the Big 12 get 2 teams in, just for chaos. I don't think they have 2 good enough teams to get in, but I'm kind of fascinated by the Big 12.
I'm telling you, if you're an opposing head coach, you don't want to see a Kyle Whittingham team in the playoffs.
Nope, you don't want to see a Kirk Ferentz team either. And this is where the eyeballs test stuff gets kind of weird on things. And again, I know we all say this at the station for those of us that use it. You slide over to the SP Plus, Utah's the 7th ranked team in the nation.
They are who we thought they were.
They're sitting there with the number 8 overall defense and the 19th overall offense.
Well, that's the thing is,
special teams top 50.
We know their defense is going to be good.
Always.
That's what they're
the bread
and
butter.
It's how far can Dampier take them? When he's good, he's real damn good.
When he's not,
it's been bad. He is the better version of Damon Williams.
Yes, he is.
Where it's like his great is like you're coming into the season. Remember, I was saying Dampier's a guy I could see like sneaky being a Heisman because we kind of looked at the board. It was like if you're asking me to pick somebody outside the rails here, Dampier's a guy that I would look at because Utah's going to be good. That if they can find that spiciness offensively, because he's a athlete quarterback, he's a dual threat player. Even though he's tiny, he can do stuff. I mean, he's got 500 yards rushing and 1,600 yards passing so far this year. but he also got dinged up. But he's got 15-5 and touchdown interception ratio 3-1. He's only been sacked 6 times.
We just want this, don't we?
Yeah.
We're just trying to will this into
Yeah.
the universe.
I love Utah.
I do too. I hope this isn't Whittington's last year.
It won't happen now because of 2 losses. The thought of a Rice Eccles home playoff game, let's say they ran the table. Let's say they knocked off Tech.
I would do uncontrollable things to that woman.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep. That are probably illegal in most states.
They would run the red helmet with the chrome
baby.
And it would be a spectacle.
I feel like Vince McMahon in that GIF when he falls back in the chair. Like that's you explaining that to me.
They'd run their Rose Bowl helmet sans the rose.
Oh God, the rose on that is such a
it's
classy look
because they weave it in through the letters. It's like, oh, that looks good. But there's something about Rice Eccles because it's just for whatever reason it's always stupid clear.
Yeah,
and it's just there.
Look, going to the big house, going to the shoe. Tuscaloosa, things like that in a playoff. Yeah, of course, those are going to be wild atmospheres. The hedges would be nuts in a playoff atmosphere.
But Rice Eccles,
Doak Walker. Dare I give you Autzen Stadium?
Autzen
would do it.
Autzen would do it.
Autzen would do it for me. Can it?
Yeah.
On a cold December night.
Yep.
Ooh.
Probably some snow.
Ooh.
That's the thing is,
I think State College in a whiteout.
I want a snow playoff game
so bad. Oh my God.
So bad. But it has to be 2 teams that are okay with it.
Yes.
You can't send Alabama to play, Penn State in the snow or Notre Dame.
Can't be USC.
No.
Can't be SC.
No, it can't be. You can't send SC to Notre Dame.
But I would love to see this Georgia team at Ohio State because they can run the football. They're not a cold weather team, but they can run the football, and that's tried and true.
Yeah, I just think you would try to do it to where you're not sticking Miami and Iowa. You know what I mean? Like
no, yeah. I've seen what is it? I've seen Tua in Green Bay.
Oh, Kansas City
in the winter.
Well,
yeah.
Remember
God,
freezing to death.
No, it's not Tua. There's a Miami Dolphins. Is it the Dolphins? Didn't the Dolphins have a quarterback that went to Green Bay and didn't they win a game?
Was it Fitzpatrick?
No.
Yeah, wasn't it Miami when Reed's mustache froze over in Kansas City?
Yeah, well that game was like negative degrees. Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Not important. And for lack of better terms, this is how I'm approaching the college football playoff selection committee. If you listen to everything we've said today about college football, I don't have the bandwidth to think about why these idiots make the choices they make.
Mm-hmm.
So I just live in dreamland. I just think about, Notre Dame at Oregon on December 19th on a Friday night.
So let's run this through.
I will have to ask my wife, and I'll go down to that game.
Utah wins out, and they go 10-2, and they're an SP Plus top 15 team in both categories.
And they're number 7 right now. Oh, in both categories, sure.
Yeah. So there's roughly right around there. You're telling me you're not going to put them in?
They aren't.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It is like right now they're 13th in the AP poll. They're right there.
They're right there. First team out, I believe, is Oklahoma, and then it's Utah.
Which I would put Utah over Oklahoma.
Hell yeah, I would. Well, Oklahoma's going to get waxed this weekend by Alabama.
And then we can just put that aside.
Damn, dude, I was so high on Oklahoma at the beginning of the year.
Well, Mateer's hand.
My fandom showed real hard on that one.
It happens.
Yeah, he's better than Cam Ward. Wow. All right, when we come back, we'll get into the Blazers tonight. Taking on the Pelicans in NOLA. But first, we'll toss to Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the New York Giants are expected to start quarterback Jameis Winston against the Green Bay Packers this upcoming Sunday. Starting quarterback Jackson Dart is in concussion protocol after taking a hard hit on a fumble in the third quarter of the Giants' 24-20 loss to Chicago, and he is unlikely to play this week. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. will miss Week 11 against the 49ers after undergoing surgery for appendicitis. Some NBA news for you, as Bradley Beal will miss the rest of the season with a fractured hip, and he will undergo surgery, according to Shams Charania. Some MLB news, as the Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz has pled not guilty to charges that he and teammate Emmanuel Clase took bribes to help gamblers win bets on pitches that they threw. He has been released on a $500,000 bond until his next court date on November 19th. And the Blazers will face off with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at 5 p.m. They currently sit at 8th in the Western Conference at 5-5. Portland is an 8.5-point favorite, and they will be without Blake Wesley, Matisse Thybulle, and Scoot Henderson. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks football, the Fan Sports.
Five zero 864 This is the fan text line. I love this text. I want Bama to have to travel to Notre Dame just to see Paul Feinbaum lose his S.
Yeah. This is an egregious violation. It's the SEC, it just means more here.
Unpatriotic.
Yeah.
It's not American. Pow!
Paul.
Although I would love to see Alabama and Notre Dame. I'm not going to lie. I'd watch that game. Like, the schedule's clear. The slate has been cleared.
We are locked in.
We are locked in on that.
It happens.
If Oregon hosts a playoff, if Oregon's in the playoff period, by the way, future programming note for us here, that game better be on Friday the 19th. I can't have it on the 20th.
Why?
I got in-laws Christmas stuff.
Oh, well.
I had a long conversation with old preschool with my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to make this clear right now. When you talk to your father, you let him know that I've seen every Stanford Cardinal football game this year.
I'm cashing those in.
I'm cashing those in on this. Like, I know he doesn't like to do this, but I need the television on at his house when we're hanging out.
Yep.
Okay? It has to happen. Otherwise, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Because, like, babe, see these Christmas presents?
Mm-hmm.
Ducks Help paid for those. Ducks Help paid for those. Gonna want to let me watch the game.
Just one of those things. You got to dip away. Got to dip away.
I feel like Costanza's dad right there.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta let me do it.
Just,
Also came across on the fan text line. I'd love to bring this up because I noticed it yesterday. It says, Danny, can we take anything away from Scoot now being day-to-day? Is he practicing now to ramp up? Yeah, what is the situation on this? A roster spot? Why has he moved to now he's on the injury report every day?
Well, he's on the injury report every day. He's required to be, but I haven't seen anything about him being day-to-day.
I saw one yesterday that he was day-to-day on Ole Espin. Case has been saying in his update.
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard anything in that regard as far as day-to-day about him returning or getting any kind of updates on anything. But I could be wrong, but they're on the road, so maybe he is ramping something up, but he's still listed as the team have not released anything with regards to that. And I didn't see him doing any work before they went on the road trip.
Yeah.
So I've been operating under the assumption, based on what I was told, that Christmas was a good timeline.
Yeah, and
Christmas was a good time.
And I still live in that world with you. I noticed it randomly yesterday, and if it's just a typo or if it's roster maneuvering, however, I don't know, dude. That makes my eyes gloss over when I think about NBA stuff like that.
Remember what Joe Cronin said after the press release came out the day before? It was 4 to 8, and he's like, "Oh, we're looking at more closer to 4 to 10," and that was return to basketball activities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if something else comes out of that, great. But
what do you want to see tonight in this Blazer game?
Competency, consistency.
A dub.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is bad. New Orleans they're really bad. I want to see them against Orlando. I think for the first time all season, they were not able to dictate tempo. Orlando slowed them down.
No Zion. No DeJounte Murray. No Jordan Poole.
Yeah, this
is a tough league pass game tonight.
There won't be many people in the building or watching.
Yeah, I understand you were, I love how much you double down, and I think there's a lot of validity to what you say, and you're hearing it from players too, that if you don't have, if the window's on and you don't have a team playing it, the Blazers are a nice little league pass team.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know if tonight's it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. What else do we have on the docket tonight? Bucks, Hornets, no Giannis. Pistons, Bulls could be spicy. Magic, Knicks could be fun. Grizz, Celtics, ugh. Cavs, Heat again. That could be good. Well, Rockets, no. Warriors, Spurs.
Draymond's been a little spicy lately.
Jimmy, Steph, and Dre are all going to play. Lakers, Thunder. I'm sure it's the ESPN game, so there's that.
Oh.
Nuggets,
I won't be able to
Clippers.
watch that.
Yeah, there you go. It's hard out here. Hawks, Kings. Ugh, Kings.
Woof.
Kings are getting ready to have a fire sale
of a bunch of players that nobody wants.
It's not that Sabonis, Levine, and DeMar aren't good.
No, I think they're all great players.
But they're very.
You know me, I'm biased towards Sabas.
Yeah.
Like I'm a GU guy.
Look, he's a good player.
Arvidas is probably my favorite Blazer of all time. Him and Sheed.
There you go. But like their fits are all unique. Like DeMar plays in the mid range, a little bit older. Defense is waning, but he's also can be on the ball as a shot creator and a playmaker. Levine is actually a high efficiency scorer, but he can definitely wane defensively. And Sabonis
is a 6'9" center.
Yeah, he's a great rebounder, but you don't get any rim protection. If you isolate him or you pull him out of the paint where he can't be as big as he wants to be, and he's not as fleet of foot, especially if you're not going to be 7'1".
Yeah.
You better be able to move your feet.
Yeah.
But he's an
Good player.
incredible rebounder, great playmaker, one of the best passing bigs in the entire league.
3-time All-Star, I think.
Yeah, he's a really good,
2-time All-NBA.
really, really, really good player, but it's a unique fit.
I know. I asked you, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, off air?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Sobs in Portland? You were like, no way.
No.
Just doesn't fit.
No, it's if you're gonna have a unique player, it better be a unique player that can shoot.
Yeah.
Because you're already
Definitely the way this roster is constructed
Mm-hmm.
right now. Really, the only thing the Blazers need, we talked about it yesterday in free consultation, they just need somebody to score consistently.
outside of Denny.
Outside of Denny, yeah.
They need somebody
that can shoot.
Yeah, that's the thing is like they've got good rim pressure. Giroux can give you rim pressure. Denny gives you a crap ton of it. Shaden, when he's got his head down, can really give it to you. Jeremy right now is probably their most reliable, consistent shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an above average shooter, but he's not. I mean, I think he's still leading the league off the bench. He might have fallen after last game a little bit, but I think he's averaging 20 off the bench.
And I keep telling, I think he's somewhere around, or like 19-8, something like that. I just want a shooter.
Yeah.
I want.
You need a dyed-in-the-wool shooter.
Yes, I want a.
Or somebody just that has the gravity of one at least.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is teams are packing it in, and the Blazers are being asked to shoot over the top, and that's kind of been the defining element of their game so far. So can they speed up the Pelicans? Can they be as disruptive as they've been? Because now they've had back-to-back games where they haven't forced 20 turnovers.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see. I want to see that turnover stat come back up a little more.
The steals have been low,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep saying this on TV, man. The effect or lack of effect without Blake Wesley and Matisse Thybulle, they're guys that are playing 16, 18 minutes, but they are so valuable.
I heard the Sunrise guys this morning groveling about making fun of that Blake Wesley signing. It's like, I could use that guy right now.
Their energy, their tenacity, their defensive intensity, and how disruptive they are, it wears guys out, and so other guys, don't have to be the guys that try to wear somebody out.
Do you think we could send a garbage trade package to the Heat for Tyler Hero?
No.
Does it work that way?
No.
Why not? That's what they want to do to us.
Yeah, no. Also, I don't think Hero's the kind of guy.
I don't think so either. I just wanted to take a shot at the Miami Heat.
No, I like that.
Such a weird thing, dude. What's wrong with those guys?
So, interesting enough, on ESPN, they have Scoot Henderson's estimated return date is November 18th, but I think that's the end of the period.
Yeah. Oh, really?
The injury announcement. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why he's listed as day-to-day.
Because
it's not a Blazer
because
thing.
Because he's a week out from...
It's an ESPN thing.
From the official injury report.
Sure,
but remember that 4 to 8 week period was return to basketball activities.
Right. You keep hammering this home. You're not wrong.
I mean, it's torn hamstring. Like, if Scoot is
Soft
all of a
tissue.
sudden day-to-day after a torn hamstring and we haven't seen him working out at all, unless they're just hiding it entirely, which, if he was close to returning...
It's just in a secret basement at the practice facility.
Look, if he was close to returning, the Blazers would want us to know.
Without a doubt. Oh, that would juice the fan base
Yeah.
up. Our text line and YouTube chat talks all the time. Like, I can't wait for Scoot to come back.
Yeah, like there's no doubt about that. So Matisse is probably back around the end of the month, early December. Wesley... I just because of being a foot injury, I'm kind of looking at All-Star break. That's when you would probably return because the return has him basically end of January.
That would line up.
Give him a little bit of ramp up time. Have that week to kind of
Extra rest there. Yeah.
But the Pelicans suck.
Pelicans blow.
You're gonna get to see Derek Queen tonight.
Oh, hey, I'm excited about that.
They gave an unprotected pickup for.
I forgot they did that.
Yeah.
I like Derek Queen at Maryland. He was fun to watch.
So
Blazers.
That's there.
Blazers tonight at 5 p.m. KUNP. Some crazy Comcast channel with like 6 digits, or my antenna, or Blazer Vision, however you want to do it.
Blazers are favored currently by 8.5.
Oh, really? I see Pelicans +4.
Where?
I don't know. Is that? Oh, maybe that's not odds.
I've got the Blazers as a 8.5 point favorite.
Yeah. Open at 7.5. Now it has gone up to 8.5.
ESPN bet or DraftKings or FanDuel?
I've got ESPN bet. So
this one says 7.5.
Yeah, that's what it opened at.
Oh, that's what.
Okay.
Oh, dude, man, I can't talk about gambling.
It's okay.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I got you. I got you, pumpkin.
It's probably the one thing I am most willing to admit that I am ignorant on.
It just takes time.
I don't gamble,
We'll
so
get
I
you there.
don't know where to look. I don't know what I'm looking at.
We can bring you to the dark side. It's
See?
okay.
Thank you. Russ tried to sit there and be like, oh, I'm like, no, we'll get him. But by the end of the first year together,
Madness doesn't count.
You will. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't, because I gamble that every year. It's the only thing I gamble.
See, thank you.
It's the only thing I gamble is college hoops.
Fine.
At A when we go up there.
By the end of our first year, I will get you gambling and shooting guns.
The guns ain't going to happen.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It ain't going to happen.
It's going to happen.
When we come back, closing arguments is next. We'll call it a day and close up shop. This is Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
Late clock. Maxey spinning, turning. Maxey again picks it up. It's Edwards for three. No! Put back by Oubre. 8.7 to go.
That is NBC Peacock. Mike Tirico on the call. Kelly Oubre with the putback.
Pretty Kelly.
Pretty Kelly.
Handsomest man in the NBA.
I also love that I just said to Casey in the while he was playing this, like, who's on the call? And he gave me this look like, dude, it's Mike Tirico. Are you an idiot? Just listen to his voice. Nice to have basketball on NBC. This Easy Play brought to you by Home Z. Use Home Z's online calculator to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Home Z. That's HOMZE. HomeZ.com.
We just
can't handle the truth.
1051 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, that'll do it for us today. We'll send you on your merry way to Duck Insider next, and then you'll get Luke Anderson after that. Prime time to finish you up. Some stuff going on tomorrow. Let's see. We'll have 10 Toes Down tomorrow at 12:15, where we give you unequivocal answers to your most pressing questions and concerns.
We have one here. I know you had one. You can keep that one because we got a banger here on the text line.
Do we? Okay,
We do.
hold that thought. Let me finish my teases.
Yeah, sorry.
I would like to have a conversation about two programs potentially going independent in college football tomorrow. Probably get to some NFL stuff as we got a juicy weekend in both college and NFL. What you got for me?
Fan text line. Random squirrel moment, which we support here at all times.
Very much so.
Do you guys ever throw something for like your dog or whatever and realize how short your toss is? I used to be able to easily chuck something pretty far, but now that I'm in my late 30s and washed, I'm always so sad looking at my weakest toss. It's like my arm just doesn't want to rotate properly or something. I'm all elbows. I threw out a first pitch at a Pickles game.
So did I.
4 years ago?
2 years ago for me. 2 seasons ago. Me and Joe Fish.
We did it with Joe's. I did it with Joe Simons and Sam Brennan. And I was a pitcher growing up. And for whatever reason, I couldn't remember how to throw a baseball because I had not thrown a baseball in probably 7 or 8 years. And it took me 10 throws for my arm to work properly. I threw it into the dirt like 6 straight times. I'm like, what am I doing?
I turned to Joe Fisher, my Joe, before we did it. And I said, should we warm up? He was like, nah, dude, it's throwing a baseball to home plate. We're fine. Threw it in the dirt.
Yeah.
Threw it in the dirt.
Yeah. So we played a little catch, got the arm loose, and then I was able to just kind of, I'm pretty proud of mine. Threw it over the plate. Didn't balloon it.
I'm always curious how many throws it takes until my arm hurts.
Didn't hurt, but like I could pick up a football right now and throw a football, no problem.
Spoiler, it's a single digit number.
For whatever reason, I can pick up a basketball, I can shoot. I can pick up a football, I can throw it. Dude, but there's something about a baseball that just did not work in my brain.
Baseball's always been fine for me. Football, I'm okay with. Dude, you know what's always been really hard for me is shooting a basketball.
Yeah.
It's always, dude. I've never had the strength. My shot is somewhere between like the chest pass and Steph Curry.
It's a low release point.
It's a low release point,
Gotcha.
and some of it is really push up. I've never been able to have like the behind the back flick,
like bring it up above your face.
Yeah, no, and the basketball's always been a challenge for me, and I loved playing basketball as a kid. And I just realized like you ain't a shooter, and so I was scrappy little gym rat.
I'm great 15 feet in. I was never a 3-point shooter, but I could sit at the free throw line and shoot over 80%. And it's one of my favorite things to do when I was going to the gym playing hoops still, because I had to warm up. I'd sit at the free throw line and just make after make after make after make after make. And I'm like, all right, we're kind of good here. And then I go on the court and go into a jumper. I was like, nope, that ain't there.
And because I have that crappy like push shot thing going for me,
a lot of variance.
Well, and what I started doing was giving it a huge rainbow. Otherwise, I just get stuffed every time I took a shot. So now I'm like hucking it way high in the air, and I'm testing the fates of physics and geometry to make that ball go in. I one time made a 3 in an adult basketball league, Pink Ladies for Life, and the crowd went wild.
There you go.
They were like, P. Harris finally hit a shot.
So to the texter's point, you're not alone in this because every home game, they get the Toyota half court shot. It's always short. It's always short. If you go sign up for this, don't leave it short. Give it a chance.
Yeah,
give it more than you think you need to give it. And honestly, granny it.
Especially because the adrenaline starts to kick in a little bit, and you start wondering, like, "Oh God, I don't want to miss this. I don't want to look
stupid."
Every
time they pull anybody out for like the quick shot competition, where it's like layup, free throw, elbow, 3-pointer.
You turned all your press guys, and you're like, "Anybody? I'll take him not hitting the hoop."
Yeah, it's
$10. And everyone's like, "Not taking that."
Oh, it's like when you see a guy like if the half court shot, if they hand on the ball, and you see like a little spin, like nice tight dribble, you're like, okay. There's a chance here. You see them hand on the ball, and they kind of look at it like they've never seen a basketball in their life. You're like, this thing's 20 feet short and left.
This ain't going well.
You can usually tell pretty quick, but when they do like the shooting drill with one, when they miss like 4 layups in a row, it's like I want to just bury my face in my hands. I'm just like, no.
I can do layups. I got no problem shooting a layup. The rest is a little.
Is that a push too?
No. That's an actual shot. We're okay on that spot. Closing Arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war plans. Thank you for joining us today. It's been a great show. If you missed any of it, you can check it out on the Odyssey app, the podcast, wherever you get them, including the YouTubes. We'll be back tomorrow with a great Thursday show, getting closer and closer to Football Friday. For Danny Meringue, that's Casey Smith on the ones and twos. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.